So you've got solar panels. That's awesome. But what if I told you that one simple little adjustment, something you can figure out in like the next 5 minutes, could seriously boost how much energy you're making? It's all about finding that perfect tilt. And we're going to break down exactly how you can do it. It really all comes down to this simple question. Are you squeezing every last watt of power you possibly can from your solar setup? For a lot of people, the answer is probably no. But the really good news, the fix is surprisingly simple. Okay, so to get to that fix, we got to start with a really basic idea. We need to follow the sun's path. Because as you know, where the sun sits in the sky changes a lot throughout the year. Now, this might sound kind of technical, but the goal is actually super simple. You want the sun's rays to hit your panels straight on at a 90-degree angle, or, as close to it as you can get. Just think about it like getting a suntan. You want that direct sunlight, not some glancing blow from the side, right? Well, that direct hit is what gives you maximum energy. And here's where it gets interesting. In the summer, the sun is way up high overhead, which means your panels need to be angled flatter to catch it. But in the winter, the sun hangs much, much lower in the sky. So you have to tilt your panels up steeper to face it. Nailing this one's seasonal difference? Well, that's the whole key to unlocking way more power. So how in the world do you figure out the perfect angle without needing a degree in astrophysics? Well, luckily, there are some incredibly easy and really effective rules of thumb that'll get you pretty much all the way there. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with just one number: your latitude. Seriously, where you are on this planet is what determines the sun's average position in your sky. So the very first step is to just find the latitude of your home. A quick search online will give you that number in like 2 seconds. All right, let's look at a real-world example so you can see just how this works. We'll use Denver, Colorado, which is at 40 degrees north latitude. Now, if you have a fixed panel you can't move, you just set it to 40 degrees and call it a day. Simple. But if you can adjust it, for the winter, you just add 15 degrees, tilting it up to 55. And for the summer, you subtract 15 degrees, bringing it down to a flatter 25. See, it's really that easy. So here it is, the simple recipe you can use for your own setup. Step 1, find your latitude. Step 2, for winter, add 15 to that number. Step 3, for summer, subtract 15. And for the spring and fall, you just use your plain old latitude as the angle. That's it. That's the formula for more power. Of course, knowing the angle is one thing, but actually being able to change it is another. And that brings us to the hardware itself and the two main choices you're going to have: fixed or adjustable mounts. So, on one hand, you've got your fixed mounts. These are simple, they're cheaper, and you pretty much set it and forget it at an angle that's equal to your latitude. This is what most homes have. But on the other hand, you've got adjustable mounts. And these are the real game changers for maximizing your energy, because they let you make those seasonal tweaks we've been talking about. They're an absolute must for off-grid systems where every single watt counts. So, is it actually worth the little bit of effort to go out and adjust the angle a few times a year? Well, the numbers say a definite yes. We're talking about a potential energy boost of 15 to 25%. That isn't a small change. That is a massive gain for making such a simple adjustment. Now, tilt isn't the only piece of the puzzle. There are two other quick things that are super important. First is orientation. Basically, which direction are the panels facing? In the Northern Hemisphere, you want them facing true south to soak up the most sun. Second is your roof. A flat roof is perfect because it gives you total control, but a sloped roof might kind of limit your angle options. Okay, so those rules of thumb are fantastic, and they will get you a huge boost in power. But for those of you who want absolute precision, we can go one step further with some pretty powerful online tools. What these online calculators do is basically take all the guesswork out of it. They go way beyond just your latitude, and they factor in things like your local weather patterns and climate data to give you a super precise, totally optimized angle for your exact address. If you want to check them out, here are a few great resources. PVGIS is a really comprehensive scientific tool. Energy Sage is super user-friendly and gives great all-around advice. And solarpaneltilt.com has some more advanced formulas if you really want to geek out on the data. So let's bring this all together. If there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Just by changing the angle of your panels, you can unlock up to a full 25% more power from the system that you already have sitting on your roof. It's probably one of the highest impact, lowest cost improvements you can possibly make. Which leaves us with the final question, and this one's really for you to answer. Now that you know the simple math and you know the potential payoff, does taking just a few minutes each season to adjust your panels seem worth it for all that extra energy? Something to think about.